Google avoids legal disaster, and that's good for Apple. And do you really want an AI assistant on your TV? This is MacVoices. This MacVoices is supported by OpenCase. MagSafe Perfected. Get 10% off at theopencase.com with the code MacVoices. I'm not sure who to turn to here because Mark had said something in our private chat. I thought he attributed it to Jeff, so I don't know. But there's some breaking news. So is it Jeff? Did you post it first, or did Mark post it?
It depends on which breaking news. If it's about Google, that's Dave.
That's Dave. Okay. Dave did it.
Okay. That was Jeff.
I'm sorry, and I wasn't sure which one you were referring to. So in that case, I'll give Dave the honor of announcing.
Are we talking about the Google?
Yeah,
the antitrust suit.
Yeah.
What happened was Google does not have to sell Chrome, but they have to make some concessions. The biggest thing that came out of it is they're being it's being mandated they have to share their data with other competitors to stop them from being a monopolistic against search. But I think was the biggest way to summarize it. Sorry, you threw me off here.
Yeah, surprise.
Yes. Let me just go back to the article here for you. Basically, that's what it was. The Chrome browser stays with them. I mean, the judge felt that was overreaching when it came to that, and the judge also declined to grant some of the more ambiguous proposals from the Justice Department to remedy Google's behavior to restore competition in the market. Besides letting Google keep Chrome, he'll also let the company continue to pay distribution partners for preloading and placements of their search or AI providers. This also includes, everybody was concerned with, there's another article I just found too, the fact that Google will continue to pay Apple for search being the prominent search engine on an iPhone. So now you're going to, that stays the same. Apple doesn't have to worry about it anymore. That was just announced not too today as well. So overall, it's been quite an eventful day for Google, and that piece for Apple was even more of an interesting announcement because as we know, Google pays something like what, $200 million or something like that to
20 billion.
Is it billion? 20 billion. That's it, right? To Apple to keep their search engine as the number one search engine on iPhone. But that was kind of in a nutshell what the announcement was for this suit. So I'm sure Mark could add more to it if he had already saw this earlier.
Mark, you want to throw in?
I read the link that David sent, and then it got picked up. His article front page and the website version of the New York Times, basically rehashing the same thing, that there are some behavioral remedies and they don't have to break it up. And the judge said he felt splitting off the Chrome browser was indirect and doesn't address the underlying problem. And yes, they need to do it. They need to share their data, but I've seen maybe it's a one-time thing that they share their data so that ongoing they have to compete, and they just reset a level playing field instead of Google having to update them forever and ever and ever, which is said basically raises concerns about freeloading that they won't compete. They'll just try to get data from Google, and that was an inappropriate remedy. He put some constraints, but I haven't been able to find or get them explained clearly on, they're paying for traffic and referral. So I think for Apple, that's the biggest thing, is the rumor of 20 or 20 billion plus of fees that they get for, prime placement, for Google as the preferred search engine vendor. So that's where it is. In aftermarket, investors are cheering. Apple's up 7.10, about 3.1%, and Apple's up about $15, about 7%, 7.3%. So it's being viewed as good news for both of these companies. And so I think just my own observation is this is litigation looking in the rearview mirror. Yes, maybe Google has a monopoly. Yes, maybe they did abuse it. But looking in the rearview mirror, I don't know when. I haven't done a chat without going to a search without going to Perplexity using voice on my iPhone, or going to a Claude, the Anthropic AI, for which I pay for, and using that, as a start for a search. I can't remember the last time I actually ever entered anything into Google other than, trying to figure out, a local restaurant and what its hours, is it open on this day and when does it open? So, that seems to me that, Google's getting relegated back to sort of a, second place fallback search engine for very specialized tasks.
I wanted to include Webb couldn't be with us tonight, but he's in the chat room. And his comment was, but Google will appeal, which was always the plan since
Right.
they were accused of violating the Sherman Act, which they deny. So, you knew this was going to be appealed one way or the other. I'll throw mine in, and then I want to give Jeff his. It bothers me just a little bit that Google has to share the information it generates with competitors. This still feels like it's just a weird world where if I have a customer list if I sell shoes and I have a customer list, I have to share it with another shoe salesman because he doesn't have one. And I know that's a very simplistic breakdown, but it just still feels strange. At the same time, Google has so much information on all of us, and we've talked about that a million times here. Is that a good thing? Or can they use that to squash out completely competition? Jeff, you're up.
Okay, so first, Webb is a very shrewd man, and he hit one of the comments I was going to make. Well done, Webb. So yes, the appeal on Google's part, of course, it was going to happen. They had to wait for this ruling to drop so that they could move forward with that. And of course, they're going to move forward with that. Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter what happens because Google has already won. And if they appeal and win on an appeal, okay, that's an even better win for them. If they appeal and everything stays as it is, they're still a winner in all of this. So Google's getting the best possible outcome they can. The DOJ is very likely going to appeal the ruling because they don't feel it goes far enough. And if they do, well, okay, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I see Google as the big winner in all of that. And the thing with Google having to sell information in a one-time deal to competitors, I thought
not sell, give.
Someone please double check that because I was sure it was a one-time sale that select companies could buy it.
Could be. I thought it was a one-time give. But anyway, that's facts we can figure out once we have time to read what the actual ruling.
Yeah. So regardless of whether or not money is exchanged, the data going to other companies, I want to see more information about that because I haven't seen anything yet that says exactly what Google has to share. But what I have seen says it will be a very narrowly defined set of data. So it's not like Google is just opening up their war chest of data and having to hand everything over. I expect that the type of data that they hand over, well, it will be useful, to their competitors will not be as useful as the competitors would like.
Interesting. Mark?
Yeah. So I just want to touch and build upon something you were saying, Chuck. The analogy used was, I'm a shoe salesman and I have to share my customer list with other shoe sales guys who don't have their own lists. And I understand the analogy. I think that certainly seems to be true in Apple's case, where especially in the EU and maybe even the UK, they're trying to force them to share the benefits of things they've invested in for 10, 12, 15, 20 years almost in terms of iPhone capabilities, and open it up at no charge to all their competitors. That I think that's very, very egregious. I think, and maybe it's a distinction without a difference here, but I think in this case, it's more driven by allegations of Google improperly using its monopoly. That's leading them as a remedy to have to share, one time for free or for a fee, certain amount of search engine results. So it does seem that there's this broader trend of, and I'm speaking frankly and crudely and directly here, there is this trend of courts or governmental authorities, wanting to, punish, companies that, have innovated and won on the quality of their products, and forcing them to, diversify, or Warren Buffett's term, diworsify, and, share all their stuff with, their second and third tier competitors who, just couldn't do a good job, and they're trying to force that as under the rubric of it's some sort of public good. So we don't have enough time in the show, I think, really to pair that apart. But I do share your sense, Chuck, that this is and I think this is the thing the judge, from what I read, was trying to avoid. We're saying that making a one-time transfer instead of an ongoing transfer, to avoid them freeloading on whatever Google is doing in the future. So it's more of a remedy for past indiscretions, unlike some of the Apple things where it's going to be a past penalty, and draw down, encumbering them, because their other competitors just couldn't do as good a job as Apple did.
Jeff, you want to follow up on?
Oh, sure.
On the fee versus share point?
So, Mark, I figured since we were going back and forth on the data sharing thing, I should look it up. And
Did you?
And I found the answer. It is for a fee. So the judge says that qualified competitors, this is from the Verge article, they can buy at a marginal cost a one-time snapshot of a variety of search data that Google collects. So they'll pay, but it will be a marginal cost.
Is that the cost of bandwidth to transfer it, or put it onto a hard disk drive? Do they specify anything there? Just
no, they don't.
The marginal cost is
just a marginal cost.
Okay, so it's probably basically it's probably media and manpower time to put it together and ship it out. I would
bet. And then if you have interns to handle that, well, so much the better, right?
That's an even lower marginal cost.
Mm-hmm.
In the article I posted from CNBC, they quote a DOJ press release saying the ruling also recognizes the need to prevent Google from using the same anti-competitive tactics for its GenAI products as it used to monopolize the search market, and the remedies will reach GenAI technologies and companies. So that may be a DOJ spin, or that may be something more akin to along the lines of what the judge was thinking, that Google, whether they did violate the Sherman Act or not, they're still extremely large, and they do throw their weight around.
Well, I've seen this is either 183 or a 283 page judgment. So whatever it is, it's more than casual bedtime reading to dive into to answer some of these questions.
Yeah. So, and again, this is breaking news, as we're recording this. So we'll know a lot more probably by the time this show gets released. But yeah, it feels like good. I mean, as Mark said, both Google and Apple are up in after hours trading. As Webb has pointed out so many times on the show, that's really the scorekeeping is the stock prices. So we'll see where it goes. I'm looking at the time and I'm feeling like we're just going to call it for the evening because I don't see anything else here that's not going to generate in the list of articles. Anything else is not going to generate quite a bit of discussion, unless you know what I'm going to throw this one in because we can make short work of this one. We can make short work of this.
It's so cute how you say that.
Yes. Microsoft Copilot is now a talking blob on some Samsung TVs from Engadget.
God.
So now we have Copilot on your TV. You have a voice chat with the AI assistant as part of the new integration. And I have not seen it, but allegedly it is a talking blob.
It looks like somebody stuck chewing gum onto your television and put a little smiley face on it.
Yeah.
So
it looks like a bleached version of the turd emoji with eyes.
okay, so I mean, again, I got to ask: do we need an AI assistant on our
No.
TVs?
I hate smart TVs. I turn it off, disable it.
Smart TV is hot garbage across
Exactly.
the board.
Clippy is not dead. It's just come back in the form of chewing gum.
Well, Clippy at least had the courtesy of saying, "Would you like to turn me off?"
Yeah. That is true.
I get that a lot, Jeff.
There's a Clippy in every one of us, Marty.
Yeah.
What about the Apple TV? Do we not want AI there?
You already do. Well, we're going to probably have it do. I don't know if
Well,
it was in tvOS.
I mean,
26.
like, it's got like voice control. If it's got that, you can ask other stuff. You can chat with the us lady. So, I mean, is that just as bad as a smart TV, or is that something different?
That's different.
It's much different.
And that's because of the back end.
Okay.
So with the smart TV, everything is being tracked, logged, cataloged, and sold. With an Apple TV, sure, some apps are collecting, logging, and selling from within their app, but overall, the platform isn't doing that. So that's the big difference for me with privacy and smart TVs.
Zero privacy with smart TVs, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And, I would want to see this in action because is it something that is just there all the time? Or are you offering you helpful suggestions? Or are you going to be able to query it? And why would you query it on your TV when you have a phone, when you have a watch, when you have maybe a dedicated device like the A lady or the G lady, or for that matter, the S lady?
That's easy, Chuck. You're watching TV, you and your friends are all sitting there, and someone comes up in a show, and you're like, "Oh my God, I love that actor. What other thing was she in?" But you can't remember. Someone else just says, "Hey, Snoopy TV, what shows was that actress in?" And then it says, "Oh, well, she was in, I don't know, Star Trek Discovery or whatever."
But Amazon
already does that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about, is it a new feature? Here's why people would use it.
Okay, I can't. Oh, sorry, Marty. Go
And
ahead.
and
Jeff, you're selling. You're selling.
and Netflix has it. It's not as quite as interactive as Amazon is, but Netflix has it too. So, yeah, this is, yes, you're right, Jeff. This is, this is, I don't know who they're talking about. This is something on the TV. Just it's trying to put another. It seems to me, you know, offer something old and make it new again, by having a little bleached turd with eyes, as the logo, on your TV screen.
I think that what Amazon is doing is different than this, though. Amazon has gone in advance and added metadata with this information. So it's just there, and you can say, show me the metadata. But to make this work as a general TV picture, now I guess smart TVs are already doing this. The TVs are watching what's on the pixels that are on the screen and analyzing them. And then sending information back. So, I believe even if you screencast your own videos to the TV is watching and saying, oh, and to do a feature like that without doing the metadata, it would have to be watching the TV and analyzing and going, oh, okay, I know who that actor is because I'm using AI to figure that out, which is not what Amazon's doing. Amazon, basically just took information that they already had and made a back end so that was accessible. So that seems fine to me. I mean, first of all, Amazon knows what you're watching. There's no way it could not know. But I don't want the TV to be sitting there, and I don't know. Are they putting cameras in these TVs?
Yeah.
That's probably the next idea. It's weird because I remember, when I was a kid and 1984 was a book and it hadn't happened yet. And I was like, oh, that's so silly. The TVs don't watch you. That could never happen. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah. Well, this was like 1974. Right. And, who could envision that there would be bandwidth, and the technology would, I couldn't imagine that. And I guess George Orwell could, and maybe it was because he, it was just magic to him. So why not? But anybody that knew how the technology worked was like, yeah, that's crazy, but it came true.
Jeff, I think you may have the answer.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'll drop this truth bomb on everyone. Okay, the trend of second screen watching for television, meaning you're watching the TV and you have your smartphone or your tablet in your hand and you're looking up information about the show you're watching while you're watching it. The smart TV makers don't want us doing that. They want us locked in to the television screen and doing everything through there so that it can all be tracked, which they can't do if you're doing second screen watching. So make it easier, at least from their perspective, to not use a second screen and hook you in and get you locked into your television screen.
And I think that explains it more than anything that I had really contemplated. It's terrifying that they decided to use Microsoft as part of this deal.
It's like they're, they know that somebody else is already stealing that information, but they're just, we want it to be us.
Exactly.
Like Facebook.
Right. Well, that's the way all these companies are. And this isn't going to work. By the way, they're not going to get us off of second screens, for one thing, because a lot of situations there's not just one person watching the screen. So maybe I want to know something, but if I'm watching the show with these supposed friends, who watches TV with friends? That's something I've
People that are
done
more
like a handful
socially
of times
adept
in
than
my
us.
entire. No, people don't watch television with friends. That just doesn't happen. But they watch with family members, maybe. Although, even that's less and less and less. So it's like everybody sit in the corner with their iPad or their iPhone. But anyway, even if you did have a group of people watching, they're all not going to want, everybody else is going to be really mad if you're like, hey, who's that actor? And they're going to be like, shut up.
Jim, that's exactly what I envisioned. When you guys started talking about Amazon, I mean, first of all, I don't think I've ever, while I was watching something, looked up an actor. I might think
I've
about
definitely
it.
done that. It's totally cool.
I do it all the time.
All the
okay.
time.
Okay.
And when I'm
all right.
watching TV with my friends, believe it or not, there will be conversations about, oh, who is this?
Yeah.
And what other thing did we see him in? And I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, and if it's an Amazon show, you just pause it, and it's like, oh yeah, they were in that. Well, dang, I never heard of that show they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And Webb in the chat room is saying, but can I watch Friends on TV?
I think he should be kicked out of the chat room for
anymore.
that.
Just buy the box set.
Barry just said Webb wins.
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, it is on. Okay, I thought it was off. Oh no, it's off Netflix.
Right.
Okay, Marty, this is on you since you brought it up because I've had this now and we just never get to it. But Clippy is back. But
Did he ever leave?
This time as a mascot for big tech protests. This is from Fast Company, so you can. I threw the link in the chats, and you all can go and look at it. But somehow it just seems like so appropriate that they would use Clippy as protests against big tech.
I thought Clippy was kind of cool. I didn't have much interaction with Clippy when it came out, but I thought, we used to have with Macs, they used to have the bear or whatever it was. There are a couple of these animated things that would pop up on your screen.
The talking moose.
The talking moose. I just thought this is making computers fun for me. So please don't send me to Clippy hell for saying that. But
Well, the talking moose. Okay, I feel obligated to defend the talking moose. I don't quite know why, but that was an that was optional. I mean, it wasn't like you were in. Was part of the operating system. They tried to make Clippy part of the operating system, and
Yeah. Okay.
that's just deeply disturbing to see a paperclip with eyes popping up every time you want to know something.
I hated the way it popped up.
Yeah, yeah. So. Hey, Jeff, you were absolutely right. We could not make short work of it. So there you go. Let's go around the room.
I know how it is.
Yeah, I should have known. Let's go around and find out where you all can be found when you're not here pontificating. Whatever. Dave, Dave Ginsburg, thank you so much for being here. Where can folks find you?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You can find me at InTouchWithIOS, InTouchWithIOS.com, YouTube channel, YouTube.com/InTouchWithIOS. Monday nights, I'm on Vision Profiles with Marty and Eric. Tuesday nights, I'm here. Thursday nights, we record In Touch with iOS at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm also on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network, as we're going to be doing Keynote Bingo, because since the event's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me on Mastodon, Blue Sky, Dave G65.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Eric Bolden, thank you so much for being here. Where can folks connect with you and your bee?
Out in the garden, of course. Also on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to. And Monday nights on Vision Profiles. Tuesdays here, MacVoices. Thursdays on In Touch with iOS, as I cover all my OS bases throughout the week.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric. Jim Ray, the man with the haircut. Thank you for everything. Where can folks find you?
I do not pontificate.
Of course you do. We all do.
All right. Well, you can find me. I'm going to sit in front of my smart television, and it will just connect. It will just connect us without either of our consent.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Failing that, I'm on Mastodon, and so people have read some of my posts this week. So, dang, that was exciting.
There you go.
Go to ProView Jim at techhub.social, PROVUE, and see what all the fuss is about.
I like that. That's a nice way to say it. That's good, Jim. Thank you.
Fuss.
Thank you. Jeff Gamet, great to see you as always. Thank you for sharing the information that you've shared. Where can folks find you?
Well, first, thank you for not kicking me off. I do appreciate that. Okay, so where to find me? On social media, Jay Gamet, pretty much everywhere. Most of my posts right now are happening on Mastodon, Blue Sky, and PixelFed. Then for shows, here with you for MacVoices Live on Tuesdays. Dave lets me join in, on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS. Then British Tech Network, The Big Show, and The Mac Show. And Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and producer Brenda Moore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you, Jeff. Excellent. Excellent. Marty Jencius, great to see you as always. Thank you so much. What can folks expect from you, and where can they find you?
You can catch me here on Tuesday nights. Thank you for having us, or having me and the rest of the gang. Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS. Mondays with Dave, Eric, and Daniel on Vision Profiles. And if you want to see what else I'm up to, take a look at thepodtalk.net. And I have buried some Easter eggs in there under a new page called Coming Soon. So that's kind of, I told you I needed an intervention last week. You didn't listen. And I'm more deep doo-doo with a couple of projects that I'm working. You can see under coming soon on thepodtalk.net. Catch me at Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social, or also on Blue Sky.
Thank you, Marty. I'm looking forward to seeing what came out of the non-intervention weekend.
More podcasts.
It worked. More podcasts. More podcasts.
Mark Fuccio, I'm so glad that you made it. I'm extremely jealous of your gigabit fiber. Where can folks find you?
Oh, at the other end of the internet, so here in California in different locations, and I'm at Zitter, at MarkFuccio, or Mark Fuccio on LinkedIn.
Great. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks for the invitation to be here, Chuck.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have everybody. We have this nice rotating panel. Everybody has life interventions, and you have to skip weeks, but it's just always fun to get any variation on this group together. You just never know what's going to come out. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices Live, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. Thank you so much to the chat room. We had Webb in there. We had Barry. Joe just showed up. Who else am I? I know I'm going to leave people out. Cindy was there tonight. So thank you all for being in there and for throwing out your comments. We always appreciate them. It's good to get your perspectives as well as give you ours. And then you know how wrong that we are. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.